Hello everyone, it's me, Vampyr.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Needs water. Where now? I'm level 8. Really? Result now? Treatment fatigue. I didn't know that. Oh, the people are healthy. I am back. And level 8. Rah. I am the vampire. Where's that douchebag? Yeah, he's sick. Where's the criminal? There he is. Oh. Let me take that. Hello, sir. I'm a vampire. I suck your blood.
Miss, please, I feel sick. Hey, Doc.
I will heal you, friend. But he's a criminal. I have to heal people.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox. I hope you're starting to take better care of yourself.
This place is full of sickness and decay. How could I get better in such a dump?
Consider yourself lucky that I'm treating all of my patients equally. But don't push your luck.
Don't play the innocent with me. I'm sure you have good reasons to act this way. And also weaknesses that can be exploited.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
I have healed another person. I am the best healer ever. Oh. Oh, I need to do my stuff. I have to talk to him with these people's. They're so tiny things. Oh. Hello, woman. I'm gonna talk to the doctor. There's some nice shit here. Doctor?
Please, Jonathan, come in.
Sure, doctor.
Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town, the hospital, a brand new life. How stimulating it must be.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm, Dr. Swansea. But my condition defies scientific categorization. Undead? Unalive? Immortality defies logic.
I cannot express my thrill at this serendipitous turn of events. The world's most eminent specialist in blood transfusions, a vampire. One might say a gift from heaven.
There's no gifts, huh?
I'm a dead man. I was murdered. Now I'm a murderer. Tell me how this is a gift.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of your work for a long time, and now you are so much more than a brilliant physician. And please, call me Edgar.
Thank you. But I'd rather you didn't speak so lightly about my condition. There is nothing I find amusing about this situation.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan. Something that will require all your newfound skills.
Please,
What?
go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the generosity of our benefactors. Unfortunately, our main donor has found herself in a bit of a bind. Now, if you could help her out...
A spokesman or politician is what you need. That's not my calling. And until I come to understand what has happened to me, I require discretion.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan. Lady Ashbury has recently received rather indelicate correspondence that, if revealed, would jeopardize her position.
And you would like me to eradicate this threat?
By the stole, of course not. I would just like you to pay her a visit. Her ladyship is certainly near the tents outside, tending the sick. You can't miss her. Look for someone impossibly delicate.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.
Thank you, doctor. Oh, you have some nice stuff, Doctor. I will take it. I will eat you, Doctor. I want to talk to this doctor. The doctor is in.
Do you need something?
I have just a...
Then ask away.
You mentioned something about a secret society. A brotherhood, if I recall. Could you elaborate?
Certainly. I've been a member of the Brotherhood of St. Paul's Stole for several years. We are pledged to monitor and report vampire activity in England as impartial scientific observers.
Yet you don't...
The Brotherhood has studied your kind for centuries. We believe you are as supernatural as a lion is to a gazelle.
That...
I feel it wasn't mere coincidence that led us to that part of town. There was something as yet unseen that set those chain of events in motion.
Since I'm the one working for you, what should I...
Well, for many years, we have been the only medical facility in this part of town that people can rely on. We support the community here, as well as provide health care.
Where do we stand?
But to be honest, we cope on a day-to-day basis. The first wave of the Spanish flu last summer took us by surprise. We lack many of the basic necessities needed.
What do you expect of me?
What we need is hope. You were a soldier. This is a war. This white coat's still a uniform. We fight to help the poor, the sick of the East End, the forgotten.
Since you seem quite the expert on...
As men of science, our first step is always to start with what we know. Forget the myths, the hackneyed scrawlings in the penny dreadfuls. They do not scratch the surface of the truth you now find yourself in.
The sun.
You will find there is very little that can kill a vampire, my friend. You have been offered relative immortality. The sun will most certainly hurt you, leaving you weakened and damaged, but it will not destroy you.
Must I take a life?
You are a vampire. You feed, and blood is the sole sustenance that can sustain your immortal frame. And only a living creature contains the nourishment you require.
The man we pursued and slew in the...
He was a Skull, technically speaking. The debate rages as to their classification. Some think them a subspecies of vampire, others something else.
Just for clarity.
A Skull is easier to eliminate, Jonathan, even if they remain formidable foes for the unprepared. Vampires... Now, vampires exist beyond the mortal realm.
How do Skulls come into existence?
The name means slave. The etymology may indicate that they are a lesser species of vampire. From what I know, vampires tend to despise them.
Okay. Thank you, Jonathan.
We'll see each other again.
See each other soon, Edgar. I will bite you. Let me exit your room. Your room is smelly. Stinky. Let me talk to people here. Talking to people. Where are the people? I need friends. Oh, they're lovey-dovey now. Hello, excuse me. Excuse me, sir.
Good evening, Mr.
Evening,
Ah, there's a new thing.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
You know you can't hide forever.
My friends all died in the trenches. It's shameful enough to be alive with these stupid scars. I don't want my children to see me like this.
Tell me what...
I went with a whore in Rouen. Dead drunk I was. The hotel was a shithole. There was a fire that night.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying...
No. It's just that I was asleep when the flames reached the room. The girl was long gone. Bitch never woke me up. Left me to burn.
That's your fault, right?
Have you heard rumors of under...
If you want to know what's going on here, you better talk to Miss Jones. She knows everything. Especially what she shouldn't.
You told me before you don't want your children...
My sister Agatha has raised me nippers since their mother died. Don't want them to look at me like this.
Your sister's not a child. I'm sure she has nothing but respect for a wounded soldier, and you are her brother.
You don't know my sister Agatha. She may be young, but she's all discipline and morality. If she ever found out what really happened...
She doesn't have to know.
She's a sly one, my sister. One day she'll find out the truth and knock 7 bells out of me. Nah. I'm better off here.
How could children
What do you think? They saw me. Once. My poor angels left the room crying. They keep on having nightmares every week, my sister told me.
Soldier.
I'm fine.
You told me before...
My sister.
Goodbye for now.
Hey! Damn it, where's the lady?
Fear and disgust.
Who's this person?
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Dr. Rick.
Goodbye.
Thank you, madam.
Hello again, Doc.
Good. Good evening, Miss Howard.
I need blood, Doctor. Warm.
Have you heard of any blackmail?
I have no time for mortal games. My secrets are beyond their comprehension, Dr. Reed.
I'll leave.
How long's it going to take to fix me properly? A month? A year? You have the right to disapprove of our methods, and you will kindly apologize when you're feeling better.
I'm quite...
Have you heard about any
Blackmail? Nonsense.
Thank you for your time.
Dr. Reed, may...
What can you tell me about
This hospital was founded to help the East End poor and needy. But since the war and the quarantine, we've had all manner of folk.
Can you be more specific?
Well, veterans, the elderly, dock workers. We even have a few mental patients. If there's space, we take them.
What can you tell me about the epidemic?
Everyday folk don't know how bad it is. The papers certainly won't tell them. Not as long as the war is raging on, anyway.
News on the front stated that...
It seemed to be for a while, but that was only last summer. It returned with a vengeance just over a month ago.
For how long?
I first volunteered at the Pembroke in 1911, a few months after Dr. Swansea was appointed.
And before you arrived?
If you must know, this was my first job.
Well, Dr. Swansea certainly has confidence.
Not in an official capacity, but the Pembroke doesn't always work above board, so to speak.
What about medical protocol?
Dr. Reed, we don't have the money and resources here at the Pembroke like they do in the West End. We do what we can.
How is the duty...
Everybody works until they can't. If there's time, they'll eat a meal and shed a silent tear.
I'll see you... Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Have you heard talk of any black...
No, nothing.
Is there anything else?
I'm all right.
Goodbye.
Oh, sweet girl. Reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, Mr.
I'm okay.
Have you heard rumors?
No.
I have to go now, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Goswell.
I'm okay.
Do you need any...
Thank you, Dr. Reed.
I have to go now.
I'm all right. Don't waste your time with me.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you heard...
Dr. Reed, are you trying to take advantage of me?
Of course not, Mrs.
Well, go be curious somewhere else, please.
Goodbye.
Doctor.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book.
Hey, where's the other doctor? Where did they put their name here? Unknown. Oh, this is unknown.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Thank you.
Why am I unknown? Oh, there's an unknown here. Who is this man?
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters.
Huh?
Where are they hiding?
Who is this
I
man?
should investigate.
Who are you, mister?
Good evening. I'm
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
a colleague. Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean? You used to be a doctor. Was your license revoked?
No, sir. It is just that I like to be precise. I run a little pawn shop while taking care of the dead. But I used to be a real doctor.
Are you afraid?
Why should I? These bodies are empty vessels. Flesh left to decay. Poof. No soul anymore. All gone.
An interesting point of view.
Sir, as a medic during the war, I learned to face my death and the death of others. It's the pain we have to tame, not death itself.
How did you get...
After I left the army, I worked as an undertaker down by the docks. A dangerous place with many an unpleasant business.
So you're an undertaker?
Milton Hooks helped me get a job here.
You're a liar. You're an undertaker?
Do you work? Yes, very easy work, sir. All I have to do is watch a few bodies. The situation was very different when the main morgue was still open.
Why?
Because these poor fellows have no names. We keep them in case someone comes looking for the missing. Sadly, very rarely happen.
Why close them?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Have we met?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body. She must be very relieved now.
She's dead, idiot.
A pawnbroker?
Yes, sir. All kind of people. For I sell all kind of goods.
What kind?
With the quarantine, it's not always easy to buy things. So I trade. I exchange. Some people sell, some others buy. I like to help.
Who comes here to trade?
I'm very cautious, sir. I've been a doctor, remember? And all my clients are good people. In fact, I think I only know good people.
I think this guy's a vampire.
Since you're not afraid of dying, do you believe in life after death, Rakesh?
No. I believe we must do all the good we can while alive. For our time is short, and the obstacles are endless.
Do you think you would enjoy immortality?
I don't think so. Don't mistake me. I love life, and I'd like to live a long life. But everything has to decay, sir. Even goodwill.
Do you really?
As I said, sir, everything decays. If I was to never die, goodness, I would be bored or worse. And I like to be helpful, sir.
Quite depressing.
Yes, but the good news is, we'll all die before losing our humanity, sir.
So you're...
No, I am not. I don't fear death, for I won't see it. What troubles me is the pain my death will inflict to those I know.
You're a wise man, Mr. Chidana.
No, Dr. Reed. I am a foolish man. But I like to think otherwise.
Have you heard of someone...
Pardon me, sir, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Please show...
Of course.
I don't know these things. Thank you, sir. Now I have almost completed my people. Only one person left. I will find you.
I'm sure that during your lifetimes, you have all seen things that no one could believe.
Good evening.
And good evening to you,
Have you...
If you're running some official inquiry, you had better question the patients. They know more than the staff, especially old Miss Jones.
Good... Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor.
Have you heard of any...
There are a lot of secrets round here. I'm not surprised someone tried to make money from them.
What kind of secrets?
I'm not in the gossip business, Dr. Reed. If you want to know more, you better talk to Harriet Jones. She's the eldest patient here.
Tell me why you're
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
You're a bad man, child.
Have you heard of any
There are a lot of...
What kind?
I'm not...
Goodbye, man. Good evening.
Dr. Reed. I have no time for such triviality.
Goodbye, Dr. T.
It is now or never.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye now.
Hey, who's this?
The flu took my dear wife, Emily. I take comfort knowing we'll soon be together again.
Mr. Rainfield, that's no way to talk. You're in good hands here, and we'll be up again soon enough. Now do me a kindness and get some sleep. I'll be back round later.
Your words are kind, the blessings of an angel. You're the sweet, sweet Lady of Mercy.
Good evening, Dr. Reed. It's a pleasure to see you again. You seem surprised. Dr. Swansea has brought me up to speed concerning your recent appointment to Pembroke Hospital.
You're a vamp. The lady who saved me that night, before vanishing into thin air. I remember you from the pub with Dr. Swansea.
Indeed. Allow me to introduce myself formally this time. My name is Lady Ashbury. I remember you well, in spite of the brevity of our encounter.
So it seems our Dr. Swansea does indeed have a fascination for creatures of our constitution.
Dr. Swansea is a remarkable man. Dedicated, one might say, obstinate? He spent years compiling our bestiary.
I hope you're more disposed to answer my questions now.
You must have countless questions, but our rather urgent matter first. Swansea has explained. My cover, if you prefer, has been compromised.
Pardon my boldness, Your Ladyship, but I have questions concerning this condition we share.
As a newborn, your hunger for answers is rivaled only by your thirst for blood. But the questions need wait.
I'm a scientist. My trade is in the deciphering of mysteries, and I need information to feed my mind.
I will gladly answer every question you have, but first, prove yourself capable of resolving my predicament without eating the culprit.
Have any of the patients given you trouble?
These poor souls have so little left to live for. I do my best to ease their pain.
The world would be a better place if it were cared for by women like you.
You make me blush. I am simply a necessary evil.
Dr. Swansea has commissioned me to be your agent in this matter. You could start by explaining what's amiss.
These past insufferable weeks, I've been the victim of extortion. I've made a first payment, but the blackmailer grows greedy. I must refuse his most recent demands.
What are your expectations? Please.
As the newly appointed surgeon of this hospital, you are in an excellent position to ask innocent questions and deftly learn the identity of my blackmailer.
Who would be so foolish?
Even if it were the case, and I highly doubt it, a vampire would have asked for something more valuable than money. My suspicions lean toward a patient or their family.
If we're dealing with an order...
As immortal tradition doth dictate, all fangs and hypnotic eyes ablaze, the blood would run like a river. That's what I hope to avoid. Violence has a tendency to spiral out of control.
Please continue. Every detail is essential. I'm your man.
My embarrassment in this matter is eclipsed only by my shame at having put the hospital at risk. The threat from our anonymous scoundrel is clear. A list of dates. My visits coinciding with the dates of suspicious patient deaths due to massive blood loss.
Is it true?
Now aren't you the blunt one?
Excuse my impertinence, your ladyship. This is not an interrogation. I assure you that this line of questioning is in your best interest.
In all honesty, I'm not simply a patron to the hospital. My visits serve a dual purpose. Dr. Swansea has been treating my condition with a revolutionary technique of blood transfusion. It seems you are a specialist in the domain.
I'll take care of it. Do you know where I should start?
If that was the case, I'd settle the matter myself. You could talk to our local gossip, Harriet Jones. Not a pin drops here without her hearing about it.
I'll meet that woman now.
My life, as others know, is in your hands, Dr. Reed. I'm sure of your discretion, but I do fear your powers of persuasion will be put to the test. When this is resolved, I'll be your obligé. I'll answer all questions in regards of your condition. Is our little mystery closer to...
I think of nothing else.
My situation is delicate.
Can't even talk to you. Where is this Miss Jones? Miss Jones? Is Gwyneth Bunnigan?
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening.
Have you heard rumors of anything...
No, Doctor. Never.
Have you heard rumors of anything underhand going on here at the hospital?
No, Doctor. Never.
Have you heard rumors of...
No, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse.
Who is this person?
What is this? Who are you? Get out of my room.
There's no need for alarm, madam. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon.
Preposterous. Dr. Reed, you say? I don't want some bumbling intern. Where's Dr. Swansea?
If you continue shouting, I'll have you restrained and gagged. Understood?
How brave. Threatening an old defenseless woman. You know how long I've been a patient here? You've picked the wrong fight. I'm Harriet Jones.
Harriet Jones? Indeed. I've been meaning to have a chat with you. You know what goes on here better than any other patient, I gather.
Oh, better than any patient, nurse or doctor. I've seen so many vile undertakings.
I heard there have been some despicable goings-on. Was there a case of blackmail?
Blackmail? Wait. You're investigating something. This isn't a social call. One of those incompetent cunts slit a poor sod's vein.
If I didn't know better, Miss Jones, I'd be inclined to say you enjoy this type of idle gossip.
God's honest truth, Doctor. It's just the way it is here. Most of these bitches would let you freeze to death before getting you a blanket.
You seem to know more about the goings-on here than anyone else. Beware, Miss Jones, in case suspicion should fall on you.
That's it. Blame the old and infirm. I see those little bitches' greedy little eyes. Just waiting for me to pop off, they are.
I assure you, madam, this is not an investigation into a possible medical error.
Debauchery, then? Nurses Crane, Hawkins, Brannigans, whores, all of them. They can't keep their legs shut. Oh, see those scratching, slutty sores.
Really? Well, if you have irrefutable proof, I'll not have the staff behaving in such a manner here.
This is your business, Doctor, not mine. But I swear one of the nurses is cavorting with some man on hospital hours.
Thank you for your time, Miss Jones. You've given me something to go on. See you on the next round. Miss Jones.
Again?
Now.
Well, if you really...
Have you noticed any...
It would be a great deal easier to make a list of things unsuspicious in this house of charlatans.
Come now, Miss Jones.
Have you no eyes? This hospital accepts all manner of souls, regardless of origin. The proper sick cannot heal. We're kept sickened by the refugees.
Everyone here is very capable. I have not seen any instances of unprofessionalism.
Thieves and murderers, the lot. People have gone missing here, you know. Poof, without a trace.
If you could just tell me why you were admitted.
It's terrible, Doctor. What with a pain in my chest, coughing up blood, and I get awfully tired. Wouldn't be so bad if I hadn't lost my house and all.
I see.
No one comes to visit, you know. Not even my own flesh and blood.
I'll come and visit you shortly. Good night, Miss Jones.
And check your blood.
The patients and staff might know something. I'll start my investigation with them. Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What can you tell me about the strange man visiting one of the nurses during her shift?
Let me guess. You spoke with that old shrew, Harriet Jones. Do not pay attention to her, Doctor. She's full of fanciful tales.
She could have been telling the truth about the mysterious man.
That old witch will end up in hell soon enough. Who cares if a nurse finds some happiness where she can?
No matter how you feel about her, Miss Jones deserves our help.
Who says I don't care for her? Hate is what keeps that old crone alive.
You're a good.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
You're a good help. Is it Dorothy King? Where is this Dorothy? Unknown again. Unknown. Let me speak to her. Let me speak to her. I can't speak to him. Where is Dorothy? Dorothy? Where are you, Dorothy? Oh. Wait, I knew it's her. You're the bitch. Where's this Dorothy can? Dorothy can. Dorothy can is over here. Wait, what the hell's Dorothy can? Where is Dirty Can? Dirty Can? Where the hell are you, madam? Madam is here. People Hawkins. Who is this man up downstairs? I see a man downstairs. Who is this man? Is that a rat? It's a rat. Oh. A rogue skull. Oh. A skull? It's a skull, man. You die. I bite. Then I smash your shit. You can't. You suck. So easy, man. Another one of these zombies. Where is Dirty Man? I mean Dirty King. Where's the nurse? Where is the nurse? Newton Blight? Who's Newton Blight?
Dodged death so many times.
die like this. What must I do?
Have you found Oswald?
Not yet, sir. I need more information first.
All right. What do you want to know?
What can you tell me?
I'm Oswald.
This is a...
We were looking for...
Where...
He went down...
What can you tell me?
His name is Oswald. Thank you, Doctor.
I think this guy is a vampire. Are you a vampire, lad?
It's locked, all right.
Oh, I saw blood. I saw blood over here.
You're sure you don't come back with me?
Nah, I have to see someone at the hospital.
Be careful. You look so bad they may keep you as a patient.
Fuck 'em. I don't like hospitals or doctors.
Well then, when you go back to Whitechapel, you may find this useful.
What is it?
A pass for a free medical exam by the best nurse available. Just read it.
I don't read well, but thank you, I guess.
Hey, where did she go? She's a vampire. I found the vampire, sir. Time to kill her. I will kill her. Oh boy. Healthy. Where is that man? Can't breathe. But then I can teleport. Cool. Nice. I like looting. I'm a looter. So many loot.
This man has been savagely attacked and dragged to the floor.
There's a vampire here. A shortcut. I heal myself. Ready for you idiot. Green weapon. Man, this guy's easy. So easy. Why is there a... Oh, rats. I ate the rat. I'm sorry, I ate a rat. I will save you, sir.
I don't want to die here. I want to see the sky, feel the fresh air.
You stay there. Till tomorrow. Alright, I'll save you.
Are you injured, sir?
Help me get out of here. I need to get out.
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd be glad...
Okay. I'm Oswald Thatcher. Please, I need to get out.
Mr. Thatcher, your friend Newton sent me to help you. Do you remember him?
Yes, I do.
Good. Now leave this place and...
Treatment for headache.
Are you sure you're all right?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Now get out from here. Zippy has a headache. Oh my eyes. I'm a good doctor. I help patients. I think that's the exit. Another exit. But this is the way. The only way. I need to fight him. Or is this killer vampire? Where are you, Sarah? What's this?
What sort of creature is this?
It's a werewolf. I'm here to suck your blood. Here, suck your blood. The hell? Ugh. What the hell is this beast?
Here's what's left of him. Not a lot to check, but some voucher for a free checkup in Whitechapel. What is Nurse Crane up to? I really must find her.
It's Blanca. Or a werewolf. It's a werewolf. Must eat rats. I love rats. Sir, I want your blood. It's a level 11. How dare you, sir?
This must be Clay Cox's knife. A fine blade. No wonder he wants it back.
Look at me run, lads. Huh? Wait, it's the wrong way. I went the wrong way. Need to get back. This is not a chapel. This is the wrong way, man. Help! Oh wait, where's the door? Let me in. Went the wrong way to get back. Where is the perpetrator?
Steady, boys! We've got one of them here!
What? This is the wrong way? Where the hell am I? It's the wrong way. Need to go to the hospital. The hell are those people? I need to heal them. Wait, I could just jump there, right? Let me try that. Could I just jump there? Ha 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 ha. Right. What do I need to... I need treatment of headache. Oh, I don't have it. Damn it. I don't have the recipe. But here's another sickness. Can't kill him.
Good evening, Nurse Brannigan.
Good evening.
Goodbye.
Safer here than anywhere else in the East End.
That was fast.
I'm afraid the trail of breadcrumbs leads beyond the hospital premises. I must leave for a time.
Is that so? Why?
Now it's time for you to be patient. It would seem that your blackmailer is part of a more complex machination whose root is in Whitechapel.
Machination? Do you suspect another immortal is involved?
I hadn't considered that eventuality.
Do be careful, my good doctor. When immortals are involved, the stakes tend to escalate quickly.
I'll return with case solved or carried on my shield.
Okay.
I should have considered the offer from that Cadigan fellow.
But I did healing. Where's the new patients? Let me talk to this old.
These nurses, bred with no respect.
Well, I can't talk to her.
Someone's poached my blanket. Oh, the cold will be my death.
Oh, she don't want to talk to me.
Liars and thieves, every last one of them. I wonder why the gospel just came here in the first place.
Wait, this is open?
It's locked.
Yeah, I think to read it.
These men. They're a company. Professional vampire hunters.
I need to talk to the doctor. I have my suspicions.
Do you need something?
The matter?
Oh, I know too much about this matter already. I'm confident in trusting the interests and reputation of both the hospital and Our Lady into your able hands.
I have met...
She's a fascinating woman, wouldn't you agree?
Is she the true reason you recruited me? To work on her condition and addiction for blood? A part of me is thinking I've been played.
Lady Ashbury is a cherished friend of mine. I would not betray her secrets without her consent. Come to the rescue of a damsel in distress. I ask nothing more.
Just
then ask...
You're a sham, Doctor.
We'll see each other again soon.
I'm gonna eat you in the future. Oh, hello there, people.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
Pepper, are you sure you want to leave this hospital?
To become a nurse was a little girl's dream. But in the end, I don't feel that useful. I want more. I want to make things change.
You should be proud of what you've achieved. This hospital represents hope for many people in need of help.
Maybe you're right. But at the moment, I feel like we're just a cemetery waiting room.
Goodbye. Good evening.
I need blood, Doctor.
Good evening. Good.
My medication.
Hello.
No decency.
Goodbye. Good evening. And good evening. Tell me, Thoreau, what's the real cause of your dislike for Dr. Ackroyd?
He refuses to admit that your blood transfusion technique is the only way to save Mr. Fiddick. I'm convinced we must use it.
What Dr. Ackroyd really said is that you lack the skill to perform this operation efficiently. Is there anything you have to say about this?
It's a false conceit. Dr. Ackroyd secretly envies your reputation. His jealousy blinds him. I'm not the real target here.
Goodbye.
I'm quite busy right now, Doctor.
What do you think of Dr.
Tippett is a good practitioner. Maybe just a little too attached to his prestigious position at the Pembroke Hospital.
Really? That's exactly his diagnosis of you. A little too eager to get promoted? A little bit too proud?
He has the right to think so. But I deserve this promotion. And I don't consider it anything but well-earned.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Tell me the truth about your appointment as a medic during the war, Rakesh.
The regiment administration appointed me by mistake. I had to learn the job on the spot, sir. Very hard, sir, but I rose to the challenge.
You can't impersonate a doctor. You can't improvise a medical education. People could die at your hands.
You're absolutely right, sir. But as a field surgeon, it was more like being a butcher.
Do you believe you have really helped these people?
My ratings were within the averages of the regiment. I saved lives, Dr. Reed. Does that not say enough about triage and war surgery?
Do you realize how many soldiers died because of that decision? You should have refused.
Yes, sir. I swear I did, sir. But no one listened. When the first wounded arrived, I had to do what I could.
It is an unbelievable story, Mr. Chidana.
It was a time beyond belief, Dr. Reed. But I'm happy not to deal with the wounded. I prefer caring for the dead now.
Goodbye, Miss. It's locked. Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins. Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Nurse. Good evening.
Good evening.
Do you know that Nurse Hawkins...
That's not a surprise. We've talked about it already.
Does it not bother you?
Sometimes I think she may be right. We should run away while we can. Question is, where can we go? Where is it safe?
Good evening.
Dr. Reed.
Goodbye. Good evening.
Good evening.
Goodbye, Nurse.
Hey!
What can you tell me about your...
Marriage is the sweetest cage, they say. Well, I found myself locked in one with a wild animal.
You mean your wife keeps you on your toes?
No, I mean, we both have claws and we both love to bite.
Am I right to assume your wife's letter pissed?
I was so mad, I threw away the knife she got me when we got married.
Your wife gave you a knife as a wedding present.
That knife has always been my lucky charm. If I'd had it in my hand when I got stabbed on that pier, I'd not have been wounded.
A lucky...
We all have our flaws, Doc. Mine's to have my weapon of choice for when the really dirty business comes around.
Do you want it back?
I don't need it here, but if you'd be kind enough to bring it to me, I'd be really grateful.
A grateful Clay Cox? I might just find your knife and bring it back to you to see that happen.
I can give you directions, but I'll be surprised if you manage to find it. My hideout isn't meant to be found easily.
I have found a gift.
In that case, you'll be properly rewarded, Doc. Clay Cox is a man of his word.
I hope that won't make me an accomplice to your future crimes.
Who knows what I might do now I feel invincible again.
I'll leave.
Is that
good?
I'm okay.
I have to go.
Don't waste your time with me.
Good. Good evening.
Good evening.
Good.
I will not let you down, my boy.
It's locked, all right.
Yeah, but where the fuck are they? Voila. Oh, so you could pick your powers. I didn't know that. Serum?
Do you need? We'll see.
An anime? Excuse me, sir? Are you an enemy? Are you an enemy? Oh! Oh shit, they have guns. I tried to eat your blood. I'm so good, right? I was friendly with him to kill. Where's the chapel? Who's that?
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye. The gods improve more and more every year. When did you join the guard? A leech!
It's locked.
This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to. There's nobody here.
Its effectiveness has been proven by many. Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir.
Actually,
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Tell me,
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
what do you think?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should have...
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Do you know Nurse Dr...
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
I'd like to see what...
Even the flu is no match for the Swanborough cordial.
More and more of these bloody leeches
I need potassium permanganate. Potassium permanganate.
Good evening. Please show. Of course.
Potassium permanganate. You see it, right? Need to buy first, sir. Thank you. I've created a potion. I will save that man. Sir, I will save you.
There's no one in.
Oh, just a crazy ladder.
It's locked, all right.
Its effectiveness has been proven by men.
Nobody at home.
It's locked.
For the SWAT. Good evening.
Goodbye.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me, just downwind.
I must talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Friendly?
Cheap price, good quality. Come on, take a look. Don't be afraid.
Welcome, sir. I am Dr. Reed.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
How is business?
Business? I had no business. Between this racket, theft, and customers getting scared, I'm losing money every day.
I see. Sounds...
It's no secret Joe Peterson spends his time harassing merchants. But with me, he's trying to put me out of business once and for all.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
What you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
In the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Have you heard of a
Nurse Crane? So the bitch really is a nurse then? I thought she was just some crafty foreigner, that one.
Yes. Those bloody immigrants should know their place, eh? How dare they do a better job than the lazy natives of this land?
Dorothy Crane ain't even a real name. Something like Dorothea Craniu. Something like that. Came to England fleeing the war, I was told.
That doesn't explain why she irritates you so much.
Your precious Nurse Crane gives away medical supplies and prescriptions for free. I offered to sell it for a fair cut, but no. Miss Crane wanted to play the quiet saint.
You're a bad man, sir.
Right then. Excuse me, sir. I have a few questions.
Another journalist? I didn't answer the first one, so piss off.
I'm not a journalist, I'm a doctor.
A doctor, you say? It's quite a rare breed in this part of town.
Really? But still, here I am. Dr. Jonathan Reed, at your service.
I'm Joe Peterson to some, but Colossus Joe to most. And I don't remember asking for your service, sir.
May I ask what you do around here?
I'll do whatever I want, sometimes even more. Now, sod off.
According to you, physicians are scarce in this part of town. Why is that?
Not familiar with this neighborhood, are you? I guess your fancy colleagues are too afraid of being stabbed in the back.
This part of town does have quite a...
Totally. Look at me, for instance. I always look my opponent in the eye before knocking him out.
How did you become the...
There's no pride in roughing up poor bastards. But this is the only job I've found. And it pays well, too.
A job?
I got enlisted by the Wet Boot Boys, a gang from the docks. I'm their muscle for their dirty work.
You are a criminal who endorses criminal activity. The least you could do is stop hiding behind this pretense.
I don't care what you think, sir. I do what I have to do for my own reasons, and that's that.
I'm not sure Mr. Lewis would agree with your by all means necessary philosophy, sir.
Oh, do you really think he's the poor victim here? Barrett can be as sneaky as anyone. Long ago, I even called the bastard my best friend.
Have you heard...
Dorothy Crane? Yeah, I know her. One of the few good souls who dare to help the sick around here.
Could you please tell me more about her?
She's a nice girl. Tries to help the migrants. I offered to give her a hand, but she said my reputation would attract too much attention.
Goodbye.
Fancy but
You never lose. Joe Peterson.
I've known Joe for years. I saw him box once or twice. He was a friend then. But these days, he's just another thug.
What can you tell?
Colossus Joe was a decent boxer, good one even. But after his wife passed away, he found every excuse to stop training. Just wanted to pick fights with everyone.
It's never easy to find a new path in life, especially after the loss of a loved one. But crime is certainly not the best option.
We've all had some rough times, ain't we? But most of us don't use our fists to see us through.
And no one has a...
Nobody would be fool enough to stand against a wet boot boy.
Goodbye for...
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
It's a disgrace. People are left to die alone. No one is properly informed of the risks.
These are bad times indeed. So much for the glorious British Empire.
What is a journal?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
So
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
That's quite honorable of you.
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
Have you any idea?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the...
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He has no
No, except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Mithercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find him?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
He never...
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
I still have quite a... He...
No,
really? Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son.
I am Dr. John...
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Purification by fire has proved useful, but where do you stop? Burn the clothes? The buildings? The corpses? Worse?
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
What do you mean when you...
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called